enthusiastic, and I am, because I really am. Because I think because we're on a mission to get students to be literate in English. And we're dealing with all the stuff in the classroom, which is so good to see your faces, is there are students who are not literate in Vietnamese, and we're going to tell them to be literate in English. Now, there's that double challenge. But in my mind, literacy is one of the biggest things. It's like that we can do, that some of us are intent on doing something about, meaning we're going to make it our work. Because students get criticized for, oh, I can't understand a word they said. I didn't, they just don't know anything. Well, have you tried sitting down and teaching them? So, and that's our profession, is to sit down and teach. So to give us the confidence to do it is to walk the walk. And even if you get 70 out of 90, you know that you've got some work to do. So it's only 2 hours of the day, 2 hours of a week. And it is two important hours, but it'll take an hour and a half, and then we'll talk about it. But what it enables you to do is to know what students think when they're doing it, that they're not doing, and all that stuff. So we see it from the student's perspective, because we're sitting the test because that's what we're telling them to do. So when they sit down to do it, we would like to be able to, to take their position, as students in test, but we have to be able to walk the walk so that we're not. They say that those who can do, those who can't teach is stupid, and it's wrong. Because so what we do is we can do it and we can teach it, and we keep doing it every day. So that's the idea. Anyway, so it's to give you the confidence to be able to do it, give you a grade, give you feedback. Now, you'll notice there are less people here than last time because people don't want to do the test. But you won't be a good teacher unless you can do the test. We can't just tell students, do the test, and then we mark it. And then we're wrong, and we can't help them when they're wrong. So the idea is for us to be able to help them, be teachers. So those of you who are brave enough, Emily, Tracy, Tu, Jenny, Liajiang, Tu and Tam, others will turn up during the session as well. The mock test is on your platform, I hope. Now, you need to complete the whole thing, and it seems boring, but it's for the purposes of understanding what it is that you're going to continue to teach. It's a very good idea. So face the fear, do the test, get the grade, improve. Here's two. And then, so if you want to start on that, what I thought we'd do at the end of it, before the session finishes, is review those things that you'd want more help with. Yep. And also how to teach those things, because I think that's going to be Tuan's question as well. It's like, what if you don't know? What do we do to teach? So so after we've done the test, then we'll have a question and answer response session for you ask the questions. I give you what I think are the answers for, how to learn that part of the test. So do it. Know that what happens, a couple of things is when the task comes up on the screen, what we want to do is, oh yeah, I know what to do because we've practiced the method. Sorry, there's a bit of lag. So it means that you are prepared for each task that comes up by knowing in advance what it is you're going to do. And that's the memory happens. So there are 20 methods, 20 task types, 20 methods. And the idea is you're going to try and recall what the methods are. Now, in preparation for that, it's a genius idea to write down the 20 methods of all the 20 tasks, and tell yourself what you already know, because we're trying to remember what to do in the test. And then we're trying to remember, and then we do remember what to teach others. So you don't need to write all the 20 methods down now, but it's a good idea to do that. Now, the other thing is that we will send you a booklet at the end of the course, which is after Friday, which will summarize the PTE methods. So to help create the memory and then teach from it. So, but we've done all the groundwork, all the hard work first, and then you get the booklet at the end. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to be here to answer any questions, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, you just log into your platform and do the mini mock test. And at the end of it, we'll start talking about it, about how to do bits that were quite difficult. Tam, are you talking?
Hi, hello, sorry. The mock test will last for 75 minutes, right? So after that, we will talk again.
Yeah, I'm going to be here. So yeah, after that, you can leave it and then you'll get an assessment back, or you can stay and ask questions if you want to. Yep, if it's of value to you, Tam. Yep. Okay, you choose. And I know you're busy, but the best thing is you've turned up. Now, one of the mantras of life is turn up. Yeah, Tam, what's your question?
Yes, we do it ourselves, and then you will stay here to answer our question, but we do it ourselves.
Yes. So I'm going to be here. It's 1 o'clock, 10 past 1 Melbourne time. I'm going to be here till 2 o'clock Melbourne time. So I'll be here for an hour and 3/4. Yep.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
谢谢.
Yep. Right, ready? Okay. Oh, Tracy's got. You may start, and also you don't have to have your camera on. So you don't have to have your camera on if you don't want. Tracy, what was your question?
Yeah, I just want to ask how many mini mock tests today I need to finish?
Yeah, it's only one. I've given it.
Oh.
It's mini mock test 3, and it should be on your platform. There are something like 6 of them if you end up using it with your students. Yeah, but there's one there. Mini mock test 3. Yep. Thanks, Tracy. Any other questions? No. Okay, very good. All righty. I'll be here. I won't have my camera on either, but ask questions or send a chat message, and practice. Be good at it. Yep. Aim high, get 90, and and see you at the end of it.
Excuse me, Mr. David.
Yes.
Yes, I'm doing the task speaking as a short question, but I can't hear the audio.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
It
me
cannot
too.
play.
I have the same trouble. I cannot heard anything from it.
Okay. Then it's a technical problem with that test. Leave it.
Okay,
And
just skip, right?
yeah, skip that one,
Okay,
and hopefully the
okay.
next one works. Otherwise, we'll have to do another test. But yeah,
Yeah.
let me know. Let me know if there's
Yes.
any problems. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I hope it's going well. I said I'd be here till 2. I actually meant I'll be here till 3. So I'm here for another hour. So I hope it's going okay.
Hello, everyone. Where's Mr. David? He's not here. How do you guys feel about the task?
Who's asking the question?
Yeah, yes, I think that you're not here. Okay, but you're still here. And so now we're waiting for all the participants to finish that test, right? I think I did it a little bit good quickly.
Oh, okay. No, no. If you finished it quickly, that's fine. It is, there's no, if you did it quickly, that's great. But we're going to wait for others to finish. I'm not sure where everybody else is up to. But once we've finished, we're going to talk about it. So keep going, everyone. If you finished, I'm not sure what to do. Go to the platform and do some practice. But I suspect we've been on it for about an hour. So we're going to finish in the next 10 minutes or so is what I think will happen. We're allowed 75 minutes. So really there's another 15 minutes of the test. If you finished, that's fantastic. But we are going to wait for everyone to finish. And so we'd like to finish, everyone to finish in the next 15 minutes. it would be good to stop in the next 5 minutes maximum, and then we'll set up some discussions, and then we'll review methods that we've got time to review. So just finishing off, if possible, within the next 5 minutes, and then we'll meet to discuss our experiences. There should be a poll for you to complete. If you could do that, that would be good, so we can discuss responses. Can you see the poll? Okay, time's up for the test. If you can do the poll, that's very useful, because we can work with that information, but also hoping you can access it. What I want to do now is to drop you into breakout rooms. Okay, so submit your test, just press enter. They will be marked. Reading and listening will be marked automatically by algorithm. Speaking and writing will be marked by Peter and perhaps some others over the next couple of days, and we hope to get back to you as soon as possible. And your essays marked as well from the other day. So finishing in the test, doesn't matter, just write your first thoughts that come to mind. The quiz is not a test, just a response. And what I want us to do is you guys benefit from talking with each other. So now, in English, if as preference, but again, if you need to talk in Vietnamese, that's okay. But yeah, what you're going to work out is what you did well, like what you've already done, you don't need to do more work on, what you found hard, and we're going to review that we're going to work on that now, and then what you need to improve. And you might work out some strategies, some shared notes and strategies on how to get better at this, because the idea is that you walk the talk, that you demonstrate that you are the models that students aspire to, and that's the excellence that you've got as potential, because once you've mastered this, you are the role models, and that's fantastic. So it's a great thing, very good thing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pop into breakout rooms while you're still filling out. 3 people have filled out the poll. We need everyone to do that, please. And then what I'm going to do is put us into 5 or 6 breakout rooms to discuss those questions. Yep. What did you find easy? What did you find hard? And what do you need to do to improve? There we are. So please, now that you've completed the test and submitted it, accept the invitations and have a general discussion for 4 minutes about what you found easy, what you found hard, and what you need to do to improve. You need to accept the invitations that are on the screen, those of you who are here in the room. Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. Hey, couldn't everyone please fill out the poll, because 6 have done it, which is fantastic. It just means that we get an idea, a shared idea. Now, what I thought we'd do is I was going to refer to the poll, but what we might do is in the chat box, because the poll's still open. So 6 people have done it, but there are everybody else will be back in a minute. Sorry, in 15 seconds. Now, what I can see on my side, which we're going to deal with on Friday, are things like this. In the break, go to the breakout rooms. I can see how many seconds there are left. There's 5 seconds left, Lynn. So what will happen is, there we are. So everybody pops back in after the 60-second clock makes everybody come back in automatically, unless you chose to. So we're going to look at some online tools on Friday. And work out how you can use them in the classroom. And some
Okay.
Yeah. So that's Friday's session. Now, what will happen is you'll get feedback. But now what I want us to do is to please fill in the poll, because okay. So 9 people have done it. Yay, of 14. Just if we got answers. Now, what I thought we'd do for this last little period, for 20 minutes or so, is run through the ones that are most difficult. And because I've got a chance to reteach and you've got a chance to do what you have now experienced. So I'm interested in your self-assessment about what it is you know you can do and what it is you kind of know you can't do. And from a teaching point of view, it's what you can do is great. Celebrate it. It's what you can't do yet that where the teaching happens. And it happens to me too. If I can't do stuff, I get instructions. I feel like what I know is I needed to hear it. I needed to hear what it is I couldn't do. Yeah, because that's the only way I'm going to improve. So when I'm assessed by the British Council and I get, great remarks, fantastic. But that's all very well. But the stuff I'm not doing well, I have to relearn how to do. So, and I won't change unless I take it seriously and understand what the feedback was. So wherever you are now and where you want to be, which is 90 in everything and teaching it, is the gap that we know we have to fill through new understanding and new practice. So in the chat box, 9 out of 15, great. In the chat box, can you write the 3 most difficult tasks? Yep. Hi, Tui, can you hear? Yep. So write the 3 most difficult tasks in the chat box. We're going to review them in the next 15 minutes or so. THUY, I have to call you Tui because I don't know how to pronounce THUY, but it doesn't seem to work. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed bottom. Sorry. Yeah.
How? Okay, it's this nearly impossible loop of mispronunciation and not hearing. So THUY is difficult to pronounce. Peter told you the same thing. We're not making it up. We're not pretending it's funny. It's not. We can't do it. So THUY, how do you pronounce your name?
My name is Thui.
Yeah.
Thui. Yes.
Great. Now the New Zealand sound, there's a bird called tui. And that's the sound of this part of the world saying your name, but it's not that. And it is the difference in sound that is the problem, which is why if you call yourself Sophie, there's no confusion. If you call yourself your beautiful name, which I can't say. Tui. Yeah. Tui. Then you'll hear someone say your name wrong all the time. So it's just one of those problems. Emily, no problem. If Emily recognizes Emily, yeah, Tui. Lijiang, these Lin Tran is probably possible. Huan Tran is not possible instantly. And I'm the guy who tries to make the effort. But what will happen is everybody else, people, it gets worse. It gets a loop of that we can't escape from. So, which is why it's a good idea to just surrender and say Sophie. It's silly, but it is, or Cindy, just surrender, because it is a loop of it is a big problem. Big problem. And then you have to get used. Yeah, but Tui is a beautiful name, but if it's not pronounced properly, you won't recognize people as saying your name. Yeah, and that's the loop. Anyway, so in the chat box, have we done it? Yes, we have. Okay, so cool. So retail lecture, yes. Write essay in 20 minutes and summarize spoken text. Yep. Write essay reading without highlighting, underline, describe image. Okay. We can also, hopefully we can see those. I'll read them out. Yep. And Sophie's still onto it. Yep. And that's now, what's interesting there is reading and listening are both, you are responsible for managing the time. So if there's a limited amount of time in the test and you didn't do each task in under 2 minutes, at the end of the test, you don't have time to finish the test. That's the lived experience of many, many students, is at the end, there are 5 questions and there's no time. What we had to do was leave time at the end, to be able to do those 5. And that's called, we learn by it. We learn by not doing it. We learn by this error. Well, it's not error. We just learn by this because it is known as time management. Yes. And time management for reading and listening means the student has to I'm watching the clock and work out, it's 2 minutes, I've got to move on. And remember, there's negative marking in multiple choice, multiple answer, reading and listening, and highlight incorrect words, but not in the other 17 tasks. So that means that if you don't know, guess and move on, because you're better off getting the point in the next task than it is to spend an extra minute and then not answer 2 questions at the end. So it works out numbers wise to guess and move on. Tu Huan Nguyen, again, is found all the parts that I didn't have time to practice difficult. I only finished describe image and write essay, summarize written text, and recognize different words. Yeah, practice those on the E2 platform enough to be able to finish these. The mock test and review last meeting should be moved to the end of the deadline, which is maybe 30 days later, not today. Yeah, well, what we wanted was, it's a good point, and we should talk about it later, because what we want though now is why it's good to not do well in this test is to work out when you do the next test what your improvement is. So that's quite a good state to know, because you're under pressure in this time to come up with what you know. In 30 days, which is a very good point, set another test and then do the test again, and that will give you the confidence that you've improved in those 30 days. So thanks for that note. The reason we do it today is because if we don't do it. And that's the lived experience as well. If I don't ask you to do it, you won't do it. That's been the lived experience. But if you're made to do it, you'll do it, like us all. So the time constraints are important for that. But let's do that so you can measure your improvement, which will give you a great sense of pleasure and satisfaction. So thanks for that observation. Retell, lecture, and repeat sentence. Yes, and there's a technical problem going on there as well with some of the audio as well. Now, what you're saying is consistent with what most students say. Yeah, typing skills. Now, typing skills are it. We have to move our fingers as quickly as our thinking. And for those of us who are from a generation who didn't type, we're doing it like this. So that is a very good point, because it's a digital exam and we have to work out how to use our fingers fairly comfortably. Yeah, it's an important point, and we learn by doing it. So that's why it's better to do it than to talk about it. Retell lecture and write essay in 20 minutes and summarize spoken text. The most common ones people find most difficult, thanks for everybody putting in those answers, are describe image, retell lecture, and write essay. And even if you're fluent in English, it's problematic. So if we have students whose first language is English, doesn't matter. You still have to learn what to do in a short space of time. So everybody's got the same problem. I'm going to close the poll, or it doesn't matter, just leave it open. What I'm going to do is to go through some practice tasks for the major ones. Now, for describe image. So we've got 10 minutes worth of coaching, but the other, probably the more important part is, before we do that, is hearing from you, about feedback on the test. And without general discussion, talk about what it is you now know we need to do. Like where to from here to get better, to get 90. So I'm going to ask Lynn Tran, what do you need to do to improve?
Of course, I need to practice more and review on the methods of what you have, like what we have learned. I haven't yet, like with the retail lecture, I haven't be sure about the discuss, mention something, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I need to recite it again.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
Yes,
now, yep. Blah, blah, blah. Now, the blah, 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 done, is commit the method to memory for the 20 tasks. So DMD TDS is retail lecture and described image. Yep. Essay is introduction, body 1, body 2, and conclusion. Introduction, 3 sentences, each body paragraph, 4 sentences, conclusion, 2 sentences. We have to remember, what else did you, that's right. What other method did you realize you need to relearn, Lynn?
We need to learn how to take notes. I practiced it and I find that it's extremely effective. I practice on it and I find it really helpful. I like for the test, I wrote down all the information.
Beautiful. So taking notes is essential. And again, we recognize that you can't do it by not doing it. You actually have to do it. So in listening, it's listening for what are we listening for and how to take notes. So taking notes is essential. And that's, I think you just say it over again, take notes, take notes, take notes, and then learn how to take notes and do it. Now, do it from practice tasks from the PTE, but do it from what I wrote down before was these things: YouTube, podcasts, TED Talks, Netflix. Watch movies, watch videos with closed captions on, because what we're doing is note-taking all the time, keywords, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, but also meaning as well, because students will say, I watched the closed captions, then I stopped watching the closed captions because I watched the movie to see it make sense in front of me. And what I'm doing is still taking in information. Now, we're not tested on images, on video, we're tested on comprehension. So what we're trying to do is how do we understand what we've just heard? Now, listening is, we have to practice. Note-taking, what did I hear? What do I write down? How hard do I have to hear? What am I listening for? Note-taking essential. So watch videos on note-taking, but practice. But those other stimulus or sources are ways to practice outside of the test, which is podcasts, videos, TED Talks, movies. People learn English from movies. So yeah, thanks, Lynn. Those are 2 good points. We're going to move on because they're excellent. DMD TDS, taking notes. Yep. And the other one, of course, is essay structure. Emily, what did you find difficult? What are you going to learn to improve?
Oh gosh. For me, it's the most difficult thing was under the pressure of the time for both for skill. Especially we jump in right into the speaking session for the retail lectures and repeat the sentence. First thing will come with the repeat sentence because my brain had enough time to like processing what I had just heard and repeat again, and then come to the retail lectures when it's play the audio or like I my head just like blank at the same time and I cannot remember or hear any word to take note down like
Yeah.
the structure you already taught us like DMD, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
retail like the with the format and the writing also for the time and the writing is not typical with the section
Mhm.
2, but the summary is quite tricky because I have to sum up with just one sentence. And for the reading, mostly come up with a lot of new words. So those
Wow.
are the
Yeah.
troubles.
Great. Now, I think everybody's going to experience all of those issues. So absolutely. So you've described what it is. That's why it's good to reflect now, because now we can't improve without doing that. So if you want to write it out or talk it out, all of those things happened, and it is possible they will happen again. So next time it's the same thing. But because what comes up on the screen, we have to react to straight away. And that only comes through repeated practice. So whatever instructions say, it is repeated practice. It's familiarity with the task type, a method to apply to that task type, and then the ability to do it in the moment in the short amount of time that you've got. And it will happen to me too. I'll be doing a reading task thinking, I didn't understand it. Time's up, and you have to move on. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to read and understand, but it will happen. I have no idea what the answer to that question is, and I'll panic as well, and then move on. So new words are one of those things. So vocabulary is essential for listening and for reading. It's like, what did that mean? And that will happen to me too. It's like they're talking about chemotherapy in an Eastern European hospital, and I don't understand I can't picture it. I can't do it. So language is really important. And it's too easy for me to say, but learn the method, practice the method, get feedback. So all the skills that have been taught are really deliberate. They are deliberately designed to be able to achieve the task in the finite amount of time that you've got for the level of language that you've got. So there really are, and you will only realize it, which you do by not being able to, by having problems. So that's the only way we're going to learn is work out. I thought it was going to be able to do that more easy. That's the only way we're going to learn. Then go back and learn that the methods do work, that they're straightforward, and they do. If you walk them through, you will get the result. Tuan, what were your issues?
Okay, so at first, that in the speaking session, I got panic. Yeah, I feel I'm not prepared yet. So what I learned that I need to learn, understand, and remember the format of the PTE test, like what come next. Okay.
Yep.
And also like about retelling the lecture, like I feel like the image distract me. So next time I'm not looking at the image, I just listen because so distracting.
Yeah. Yes. So all of those things are very real. Now, what will happen in the teaching is one line will say, I will tell you, because I'm reading it from the script, don't describe the image, don't describe the picture. So, and that's written down. Now, if you didn't hear that or it didn't mean anything, because, so what, it's a bit more information. Yeah, that is in the teaching, is don't look at the picture, because you end up worrying about the picture and then everything went in, out, and it's
Yeah,
all,
exactly. My God. And
Yeah.
also I need to
Yeah.
improve my time management skill.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
No.
I can't finish the test.
beautiful. And so those, please write those things down, because they are very real. Like all of those things that you're learning, that you're explaining, are very it. All the teaching off the slides, dear, here's the funny part, is to tell you in advance not to do that. But we don't learn by being told what to do. We only learn by getting it wrong. Pretty much it. We'll only learn by failing. And we work out, what do I do then?
Yeah, so now I know that we learn from the mistake.
Yes.
Yeah, we learn from the mistake.
Right.
Just feel free to make a mistake.
Feel free to make a mistake. That's it. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're better off making it than not trying. You are better. That's now the next bit on from that is, so allow an extra 3 weeks. Yeah, in order to recover from the mistakes. And it is that it. So now you realize, it's not at all. We're on a learning curve. It's July the 31st. So by the end of August, get good. Be good at it. But yeah, brilliant. So that's why it's a very good idea, as somebody said, and I can't remember the name, is let's do the test in 30 days time. But you need to know now what I believe you need to know now, what you need to know in order to be able to do well in the test in 30 days time, which is what went wrong. So perfect. What Emily, Lynn, and Tuan, perfect feedback for the experience of the test. Let's ask one more. Sophie, can you explain what happened to you?
I have various problems. First, I would say that when I'm speaking, when I do speaking part, and I was interrupted by someone to make noise. Yeah, so I can't not hear the whole what the audio's saying.
Mhm.
And then when you say the time's up, and at this time I was doing reading and listening, so I don't have time to do two parts. Yeah, so I miss
Yeah.
two sections. So
Yeah.
so if I haven't finished reading and listening, so there was something happened to my score, to my
Yes.
results.
Yeah. But don't worry about the score. Now, really, the score doesn't matter in this round. It is what we said at the beginning. It's being familiar with the test and doing it by doing it, not by reading about it, but by doing it. It doesn't matter what the score is. What matters really, as we thought about earlier on, is when in 6 or 8 weeks you go to the PTE test center and test yourself at the test center and you get 80 or 90. That's what really matters. Don't worry. But the other, Sophie, that's a very real experience as well, is you're in the middle of something. This is in the test center. The person next to you yells out that they need another pad. And that distracts you completely from what it is that you did. And you go back and you can't remember where you were. So that's why we talked about it before, is put a radio on when you're practicing, like learn to zone in. And part of it is that it is what you've all explained. Zone in, do it, because the next one's going to happen then, and all you're doing is like play whatever young people do these days, is zone into there and wait for the next thing to happen that we're going to apply our intelligence to. But so being distracted we learn that can happen in any situation as well. So part of it now, Tui, can you explain what happened to you?
Yes, I have started in listening with retail lecture because I hear all this, but I can catch the main idea, so I can write with the retail lecture. So I can do this part. And
Yes.
summarize listening. I listen all this but I can summarize for this, so I can pass to continue. So I start this. I don't know, maybe it's the problem platform, so I can pass. So I start here and I stop and I can do continue. Yes, I think it's most listening is the heart. So I need to practice the not take note more. How to learn to take note.
Yeah,
Yes.
how to learn to take notes. Beautiful. So if listening is the challenge, learn to take notes. And that is why I wrote it down for us before. I'm going to write it in the chat box again, because these notes can be, yeah. Now, panic is actually one of the things that you'll see on the slides. We'll go back to Melinda wrote when she's writing the slides, did you panic? Because it's the thing people do. Did you panic? Just confess you panicked, because there are 2,000 other people who also panicked. It's not unusual, and it's not just you. So that's why we have to laugh, because these experiences are the experiences of students taking the test, which we find funny, but it's not. I mean, it is funny. It's funny that we're all sharing that experience. Now, Tui and others, I'm going to write down again. These are things you set up for yourself, get master, and then set them up for students. Podcasts, YouTube and again, it's funny because that's why I like this job, because you just say the same thing over and over again, because it's teacher's job is to say the same thing over and over again. YouTube with closed captions so you can read them. Yep, while you're listening. Podcast, YouTube, TED Talks, and in TED Talks, play, pause, and when you're speaking, repeat. But you can also take notes from those as well. And yep, and yes, so you're listening is not, we're not born doing it. We didn't just pop into the world and become really good at it. We don't. We have to learn how to do it, like writing. So podcast, YouTube, TED Talks. I really suggest we do read alouds a lot as well. And I think what it is just to summarize what we're all up to, is you have to do instantly what it is you have to do. So when Emily says this thing where I can't hear, I didn't repeat sentence, I didn't hear the sentence. Yeah, because whatever. So you're training for an athletics event, a metaphoric athletics event. You're going to do the 100-meter sprint, the 200-meter sprint, the 400, hurdles, high jump, discus, shot put, and then they're telling you to do it straight away. So you're going to have to, and that's why there are individual skills, or a method and individual skills for each task that you have to now. And it's the two, you have to type. You have to move your fingers. You have to see, not be distracted. Close your eyes so you can hear. So that's why we practice those things. And we've all got our own, mine is if I watch the visuals while I'm listening, I just watch the visuals as well. I don't know what happened. So, but if I close my eyes, I hear. And I've worked that out. Yeah. Like just close your eyes, because otherwise I can't hear. I'm more interested in seeing. So all of those things that we actually have taught, it has been, I have to say, it's been explained. What it's been done has been presented. Our lived experiences of the way that we learn, for this test. So really what we have to do is watch the video again and then do what was mentioned in the video. It really is follow the instructions, and it really is. We can't reinvent anything. So Lynn was saying before, this one, we won't have time to do them now, but it's so worthwhile hearing your responses, because they'll all be shared. DMD, TDS. Now you have to be ready for it. Ding, DMD, TDS, done. Over. Yep. Then it is whatever the next task is. So the methods, multiple choice, choose single answer. What am I doing? Read the prompt, recognize the keyword, go through the text, find the keyword, read around the keyword, match the option to the text within 2 minutes. Ding, move on. So, and to make it finite, there are 20 tasks. So it really is 20 methods. And then there'll be 2 or 3 or 4 of each task, or 1 or 2. But yeah, thanks. We really have to we have to learn the methods. which is why you'll get the booklet. And in the meantime, what you're trying to do is remember the methods by writing them out. But what I'll organise now is for next week is for the booklet to be distributed, because it summarises them all. And all you can do is laugh. All you can do is laugh at it being not perfect yet. But the experience is that it can be. The experience is 90 as possible. And on that day, I don't know what happens on that day, a big party, but it does happen. So, and you have to move towards it, and we have to go through the, 40 out of 90 to get to 50, to get to 70, to get to 80. Yeah, reading practice, brilliant. So reading practice is the other one. So, and again, this, sciencedaily.com. And Science Daily, because it's got academic language in it, it's of the level for the test. And you can choose, again, the added layer to this is to choose the topic. Yep, either you or your students. Now, read aloud is really important because your pronunciation will be improving. You'll recognize vocabulary, and you're learning words which you are probably going to encounter in the Pearson test. And that's Emily's thing as well. It's 100% spot on. It's like, I've never seen the word before. I've never seen the word beside it before. I don't know what the text is, and I can't know what the answer is. So we have to improve vocabulary. All we experience is the need to improve on that level. So they're the ones, I had it written down, but they are really the ones from memory that we wrote down before, which is audios, which is TED Talks, YouTube, podcasts of your own choosing, BBC. You realize it gets a little bit political. It's not. It's just that these guys can be understood. BBC. There'll be American radio as well you can listen to as well. And the idea is that you listen for comprehension. So you're listening for keywords. And again, it's back to his thing, write down keywords. Our keywords are content words, and they really are. Now, we get distracted by, here's the other thing we talk about, we get distracted by what the person sounds like. Oh, I can't understand. They're speaking too quick. Don't worry about it. Hear the words they're saying. And that's the only way we get through pronunciation. And also like, oh, I don't like the way that person sounds. Well, we haven't got time to change it. We actually have to listen to what they said. So content words, which are things, actions, adjectives, and adverbs. And what I know is that if Tui listens to a podcast and focuses on keywords, by the end of it, that will add to the comprehension, because it's comprehension that we're after, or meaning taken from the text, which is, Emily, is the big thing, is meaning and matching meaning. Matching meaning in the multiple choice answers, listening and reading. Good question. Science Daily is one that's appropriate for that, for our level. Now, on Friday.
Excuse me, Mr.
Yes.
David.
Yeah.
So please,
Yeah.
when you see our result, don't feel down, because because this is our first experience of doing tests, and we feel not happy with what we did. And you too, please, don't feel down.
I won't feel too down, because what's happened before is that the people from the first course, you're very good. Yeah, and don't worry. You're allowed to fail. That's the idea. It's a learning curve. Now the learning doesn't stop on Friday. So when we set the test up for in 30 days' time, the end of August, when you retake the test, you'll work out, to stop the tears, you're going to work out what to do in order to get better as well. So because you owe it to yourselves and then to our students. So we'll set another test. All this does is set us up to get better next time. And you will. What I do know is that people who went through the first course, which are of similar level to you, turned up at a conference and did their stuff and were like cheered for doing it. So we know, we know that the potential is real, and it is, so it's just more work, and it is exactly what you've said. You've got to do more study. You've written it down. You've done it. So you know already the thoughts are, what do I do? Well, do a bit more. Yeah. Here we go. So please introduce. Yeah, practice summarizing and listening to lectures. Yeah, so the lectures, I'll tell you how that, so what we've done for the lectures are taken from TED Talks. Lectures are also taken from, we used an American university website, but I can't remember which one it is. So what would happen is if I Google, this is what we did when we're writing these tasks. If I Google Harvard, Harvard lectures. Yep. Then I go in there and I search for art history. And then I listen for a minute to a minute and a half of art history lecture. And that's what I sample, yep, for the audio text. So Pearson claim to use authentic texts. So genuine lectures that have been spoken by a lecturer are considered to be authentic. Yes, and you can use those for your students as well. The other thing is that the information is interesting, but the level of language and the amount of the level, it's like, so on the CEFR scale, we're at B1, B2, C1, C2. Guys are pretty much, for this test, for adults, should be at the B2 and above level. But we know there are primary schools or juniors in this class as well who would be at B1 and A2, and you can modify the texts for them. But that's what you're able to do. And that's what I'd totally encourage us to do, is to do the task types with the appropriate language level for the cohort and lead them forward over time as a curriculum and a syllabus. For those people who are going to confront the test and do it, they're just going to have to deal with B2 and above now, and they're going to have the vocabulary, and they're going to have the task types. But you can modify it for your students, individual cohorts. And we can talk about that on Friday as well, because it's very important. Maybe that's all the time we've got time for now. Please suggest where we can find the reading passages to summarize. Yeah, so reading is taken from anywhere. But we did this, which is what happens is when the joy of being the one really good thing about writing the learning material is that you can choose the topic you want the students to learn. Yep. So what we did for a long time is climate change, because we can't avoid it, or whale strandings because somebody's interested in whales, or cost of living, houses expenses. So we find the texts, but Science Daily is one of them. There are others. Tam, yep. Tam, can't hear you.
Yes, I have a question regarding to regarding to an app. It's called PTE APE Best PTE Test Preparation Platform. Do you know that app? That I heard from one of my friends. He already take this test, and he said that this app include all the question in real test. You know that if we practice all of the question on this app, that it means that we can meet those questions. We can repeat this question on our real test.
Yes. So here, right now, I don't know the app.
My question is it true, or is it correct or incorrect?
Yeah.
That
So,
this app include all the real question on the real test.
Yeah. So my answer to that, which is also, see, most of this is rehearsed because these questions have been asked before, is be wary, be careful about websites, because sometimes the advice on those websites is made up. So, and it sounds convincing. Now, to test that, send me the name of the website and I'll have a look at it, because the word of warning is be aware of materials that claim to be PTE legitimate materials in the test, and then you find there are all sorts of problems with them, including they've been put together by second language speakers and they don't make sense, but also there are mistakes in the texts, and so we're telling students to read texts with mistakes in them, and then we realize, well, that's not quite good enough, and we don't think it's good enough. So without knowing the app, I can't say that, but I do think it's a good idea to practice the tasks that are in the PTE test. So what I showed you last time, I have to look around because I don't know where everything is, in the same place I was yesterday. The PTE academic book gives you the methods. Yep. And then it also gives you some texts to practice. So in answer to the question, is it right or wrong? It's more on the side of right, but you've got to check it. So you've got to have a look at it to work out, are you happy with that material being used? Can you see errors in it? So meaning grammatical errors and word choice errors and spelling errors. So if it looks all right, then it is. But I think the general question is, where do you get practice tasks from? So anywhere that's legitimate, and the original sampling of the texts that we use are from legitimate sites, such as the university lecture sites or TED Talks, where we can see that makes sense, or we take the audio from a podcast and use that, or we write it out and get people to record it. But really what we wanted to do was to sample authentic texts, because that's what Pearson stands for in this test type, which is to give students the experience that they're going to experience in an academic context at that level, and give them and test them on the skills they're likely to need to use. Does that make sense, Tam?
Yes. Thank you. I will.
Yeah, I know. You have to test it, but I think if you let me, I'll have a look. Yeah, but you have to use your own intelligence to work out whether that was actually a good thing to tell students to go and do. So, and that's us. We're all responsible for that. Hey, we've only gone 10 minutes over time, but there is, I think the big lesson will be, and not everybody got a chance to talk, is to get better, meaning start now. You know where you are now, and you've got a better idea than we had 2 hours ago, which is the pain of doing it, but also the pleasure of doing it is we're better off than we were 2 hours ago. So, and we know that there are things to focus on, and you can identify them. You've named them, yeah. And now we just make a list, reflect a bit more, and then plan to improve, and plan, because the results are worth it. Thanks everyone for putting yourself through the pain of being tested. It's a pain, but but it will pay off. We're better for it. Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a good day and see you on Friday.
Mr. David.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, David.
Thank
See
you,
you.
Mr.
Thank you.
David. Goodbye.